तस्मै श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So, do all of you remember the last time we met on this topic? Can you see show of hands how many of you were present that night when we did part one of this topic? All right, let's give a few minutes because we will just continue from there around the same topic. Only 7 devotees were there last time, 8. Okay, so quite a few new. First time. I wonder what happened to those who were there last time. There was almost 50 devotees. I guess, all right, no worries. So let me just summarize what we covered in the last topic. And I have a humble request to you all. If you can come on the camera, then it'll be nice. This way I can also see you and talk to you. And it just makes a big difference when you have people on the screen. And also, I humbly request you to give your full attention for the next hour or so. This way you benefit from the topics. I'm going to just repeat the words of previous acharyas and senior devotees. And but if you have your attention, then you'll be able to grasp something. Otherwise, your mind will be in multiple places and it won't help. So whatever you're doing, if you could wrap up and come on the camera, that'll be very much appreciated. So in our last week, all right, let's share the screen. It's visible now.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the topic was, again, it was part one, dealing with calamities. And this was for those people who were going through one or many of these things or have experienced it or are in the midst of one of these items. I talked about how there are 3 different types of categories of problems or difficulties in life, which fall under sufferings caused by nature, sufferings caused by the mind and body, and sufferings caused by other living entities. And then we also went over why do we get calamities in our lives. And there are 4 topics that I touched upon. Also, Gaurav Prabhu, you can just keep an eye on if somebody unmutes them, you can mute them right away. 4 topics were, one was that this place is a place of misery. It's called Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, where it's like a jail compared to jail in a city. That in the jail there's always pain. People who've broken the rules, of the land they're put in there. And even in jail, if they may find some pleasure and happiness, but overall, there's only suffering. Second was, we identify ourselves with the body, that I'm the body, not the soul. But actually, Bhagavad Gita explains to us that we are the soul, not this body. And because of always being conscious about this body and identifying, oh, I am this person, then that's why we are also suffering. And there are Bhagavad Gita verses that are referenced in the picture also. Our past karmas are also playing a major role in what we go through. So, having done something good or bad, we are facing those prarabdha karmas reactions in this life as well as karmas performed in this age, in this life. Then we also have our desires and attachments. And because of desires and unsatisfied desires, we get angry, we lose intelligence, and then we commit mistakes. And then shared some examples of devotees from their from previous yugas who went through so many calamities, like Draupadi, Sugriva. Then we had Gajendra, who was fighting with the crocodile for 1,000 years and was losing the battle, and finally took shelter of Vishnu. Then we have Uttara, Mother Kunti, who went through calamities from when she was married, and she lost her husband, and her kids were being killed, and went through so much in exile. Then we also covered Uttara, who's in her womb. She was a nuclear weapon, which is Brahmastra, was sent to kill her child, and she took shelter of Krishna. Then we also have the example of a Jamil Brahman who was in a calamity because in his last moments, as he was about to leave his body, he had the darshan of the Yamadutas, and he remembered the Lord. Then we also have, in more recent times, 500 years ago, Haridas Thakur, who was none other than Lord Brahma, appearing as Namacharya. Haridas Thakur was beaten in several marketplaces. Why? Because he was taking the names of the Lord. And then in our own times, Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya of ISKCON, who went through so many struggles, calamities, with 2 heart attacks on the ship Jaladuta coming to America, and how he remembered Krishna. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay. And then we also covered how on the battlefield of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was completely bewildered. He was saying that, Krishna, I can control the wind, but I cannot control my mind in this calamity. Because samajh nahi raha hai what I should do. I don't understand what I should be doing. My whole body is trembling. And at that time, he takes shelter of Krishna and says, Krishna, I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my weakness. In this state, I'm asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. He takes a very humble position of a disciple, of a student, and a soul surrendered unto Krishna. And at that time, Krishna speaks the Bhagavad Gita. And after that, Arjuna says at the end that now my illusion is gone. I know what is my duty. And Krishna blesses him and he performs his duty of a Kshatriya and he fights. So, in summary, that is what we covered. And also, after that, I covered 4 points dealing with calamities, on how to deal with calamities. And we talked about 4 things, which is having sadhu sangha or association of devotees, jive daya, which is being kind to all living beings, name ruchi, which is developing taste for the holy names, and 4th was Vaishnava Seva, service to devotees. Here, Sanatan, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, kindness to all living beings, taste for the holy name, and service to Vaishnavas. Apart from these, there is no other religion. So today I will also go into a little detail about these 4 points. So how to do sadhu sangha, how to do jivedaya, what is namaruchi and Vaishnava seva as well. So now let me share with you today's slides so we can go into that. Dealing with calamities. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, let me hide this. How do I get rid of this slides? Hide floating meeting. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam, 1 first canto. Sorry. Somebody trying to speak. Are my slides still visible?
It's not in presentation mode, Prabhu.
It's not in presentation mode. How do I share screen?
If you want, I can share also from my side.
Oh yeah, please do. Please do. But before we share, actually, let me share a video, okay? You can keep it ready. But before that, let's play this video. Okay, visible, right?
Yes.
It's not in Krishna consciousness. Heaviest calamity may come upon me, come upon them. He will remain steady without any disturbance. It is disturbance. And Krishna says, Konteya pratijanihi name bhakta prasati. The evidence is Arjuna himself. They were put to so much trouble by their cousin brother, but ultimately they came out victorious. If we accept Krishna as everything, so there is no poverty, there is no economic problem, everything is all there. So long you are on the sea, you are on the dangerous position. However strong your ship may be. That's a fact. See, you should not be disturbed by the sea waves. Just try to cross over the sea, go to the other side. That is a business. Similarly, so long we are in this material world, there must be dangerous calamities, because this is the place of calamity. So our business is, even within these calamities, dangers, how we develop our Krishna consciousness, and after giving up this body, we go back to home, back to Krishna. That should we all do. We should not be disturbed by the so-called calamities. They are not so-called, they are factual.
Okay, so there was a wonderful shorts by Srila Prabhupada where he's talking about, having taken shelter of Krishna is the only way to manage calamities in our life. Last time I mentioned that sabke liye alag alag, there are different types of calamities. This Sunday, we are hearing there's going to be a snowstorm. That could be calamity. Now, I just said that, but don't go on weather.com. Stay focused on the class. Otherwise, we'll start looking at the weather and everybody will be like, oh, really? Bad weather? Let's look up. And you'll miss out the main points in the class. But for them, some may be calamity. You go to your local stores and the stores may be packed with people rushing to buy things because it's end of the world, it's going to snow, and for next 2-3 days, we won't be able to step out, and it's a calamity. But we are talking about calamities, which means life and death. life and death calamity. How to handle those situations. Srila Prabhupada says that take shelter of Krishna. Simple. And those who have taken shelter of Krishna will be able to sail through these calamities. You can start sharing the slides. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse number 12 through 17 are verses which nicely explains the scenario is Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of arrows. Yudhishthir Maharaj has come to meet Bhishma Pitama, and Arjun and all the other brothers, along with Krishna, have followed him and have come to meet Bhishma Deva. Yudhishthir Maharaj is very despondent that, all this killing happened and people have died and what has happened is my past karma, and he was not happy. And at that point, Bhishma Deva is speaking to Yudhishthir Maharaj about calamities. So we'll go through these verses one by one. There's 6 verses. The first one, which is Aho Kashtam Aho Anyayam Yad Yuyam Dharma Nandana Jivitum Narahata Klishtam Vipra Dharma Chutashraya. Bhishma Dev said, translation purported by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhishma Dev said, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion." Purport: Maharaj Yudhishthir was disturbed due to the great massacre in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Bhishma Dev could understand this, and therefore he spoke first of the terrible sufferings of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He was put into difficulty by injustice only. And the battle of Kurukshetra was fought just to counteract this injustice. Therefore, he should not regret the great massacre. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, the Lord, and religious principles. As long as they were protected by these 3 important items, there was no cause of disappointment. Thus, Bhishma Dev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthir to dissipate his despondency. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despondency. However, trying the circumstances of life. Bhishma Dev, as one of the authorities in the line, wanted to impress this point about the Pandavas. Next one. Next verse is, I will just skip just for the time. I'll just go into translation and purport. As far as my daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great General Pandu's death, she became a widow with many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions. The sufferings of Kunti Devi are doubly lamented. She suffered greatly because of early widowhood and to get her minor children brought up in the royal family. And when her children were grown up, she continued to suffer because of her son's actions. So her sufferings continued. This means that she was destined to suffer by providence, and this one has to tolerate without being disturbed. Bhishma Dev, lying on the bed, he's talking about Mother Kunti. He's telling Yudhishthir Maharaj that first of all, stop lamenting. Don't think that it's your past karmas. You've gone through a lot, I know. Your mother has gone through a lot, I know. consider it as providence, and we'll see ahead what he's saying. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. There is control by time all over the space within the universe, as there is control by time all over the planets. All the big, gigantic planets, including the sun, are being controlled by the force of air, as the clouds are carried by the force of air. Similarly, the inevitable Kal, or time, controls even the action of the air and other elements. Everything, therefore, is controlled by the supreme Kala, a forceful representative of the Lord within the material world. Thus, Yudhishthira should not be sorry for the inconceivable action of time. Everyone has to bear the actions and reactions of time, as long as one is within the conditions of the material world. Yudhishthira should not think that he committed sins in his previous birth and is suffering the consequence. Even the most pious has to suffer the condition of material nature. But a pious man is faithful to the Lord, for he is guided by the bona fide Brahmana and Vaishnava, following the religious principles. These three guiding principles should be the aim of life. One should not be disturbed by the tricks of eternal time. Even the great controller of the universe, Brahmaji, is also under the control of that time. Therefore, one should not grudge being thus controlled by time, despite being a true follower of religious principles. Next. You all can read, in mute, you all can also read this way. Just by hearing, you can also see and read it in your own mind. Then you will grasp a lot more. Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverse in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion? Yudhishthira Maharaj was who? Dharmaraj. So that's why he's called Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion. Bhima, the great fighter with the club. The great bowman Arjuna with his mighty weapon Gandiv, and above all the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. As far as the material or spiritual resources were required, there was no scarcity in the case of the Pandavas. Pandavas had everything, isn't it? They had everything that you could ask for, including Krishna. Materially, they were well equipped because two great warriors, namely Bhima and Arjuna, were there. Spiritually, the king himself was a symbol of religion. And above all of them, the personality of Godhead Lord Sri Krishna was personally concerned with their affairs as the well-wisher. And yet there were so many reverses on the side of the Pandavas. Despite the power of pious acts, the power of personalities, the power of expert management, and the power of weapons under the direct supervision of Lord Krishna, the Pandavas suffered so many practical reverses, which can only be explained as due to the influence of Kal, inevitable time. Kal is identical with the Lord himself, and therefore the influence of Kal indicates the inexplicable wish of the Lord himself. There is nothing to be lamented when a matter is beyond the control of any human being. This verse, I love it here because Bhishma Dev is explaining that he's telling him that you had everything. You had the power, you had the army, you had Lord Krishna by your side. And yet you had to go through so many adversaries. Don't take this as, many times we say, devotees say, like, mere saath kyun? Why with me? Despite being devotees, how come you guys are still facing so many problems? This question comes up. And here is an example. Here is like the acharyas of problems, that the amount of problems that calamities that Pandavas went through, none of us would want to be in their shoes at all. So here we see that what is the outcome? Despite going through all these calamities, despite having all this, they still came out victorious, number one, and they never complained to Krishna, why me? Take that point. Next slide, the next verse. O king, no one can know the plan of Lord Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. The bewilderment of Maharaj Yudhishthira over his past sinful acts and the resultant sufferings, etc., is completely negated by the great authority, Bhishma, by Bhishma Dev. Who is Bhishma Dev? One of the 12 authorized persons. So there are 12 authorized people who can tell you about bhakti, about the Lord. These are blessed by the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prallado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. The 12, Vayasaki, Sukadev Goswami, and Vayam means Yamaraj, because Yamaraj was speaking these verses to the Yamadutas. That Lord Brahma, Narada, Shiva, the four Kumaras, the sons of Lord Brahma, Kapil Dev, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Bhishma Pitamaha, Bali Maharaj, Sukdev Goswami, and Yamaraj himself know the real religious principles. So Bhishma Pitama is telling this, and Bhishma wanted to impress upon Maharaj Yudhishthira that since time is immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Shiva and Brahma, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. So what can we understand about it? Even greatest demigod like Brahmaji sometimes doesn't understand what the plan is. So how can we, little tiny, minute little living entities? It is useless also to inquire about it. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. The sufferings of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. The Lord had to execute the plan of establishing the kingdom of virtue, and therefore his own devotees suffered temporarily in order to establish the conquest of virtue. This is mainly for devotees. This is a focus on so-called devotees who call themselves Vaishnavas, or who say that I'm a devotee, I'm a Hare Krishna devotee, or I'm a devotee, I'm a Vaishnava. I believe in Krishna, I believe in Ram, I believe in Nrsimhadev, I believe in Venkateshwara. So those who claim to be devotees, why do problems happen with them? Here's the answer. Bhishma Dev was certainly satisfied by seeing the triumph of virtue, and he was glad to see King Yudhishthira on the throne, although he himself fought against him. Even a great fighter like Bhishma Dev could not win the battle of Kurukshetra because the Lord wanted to show that vice cannot conquer virtue, regardless of who tries to execute it. Bhishma Dev was a great devotee of the Lord, but he chose to fight against the Pandavas by the will of the Lord, because the Lord wanted to show that a fighter like Bhishma cannot win on the wrong side. 17, next one. O best among the descendants of Bharat, Yudhishthira, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You're now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. The popular saying is that a housewife teaches a daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So a good mother-in-law will never instruct directly to the bahu, to the daughter-in-law. But in front of the daughter-in-law, she will tell her daughter, hey, you should do these things like this, by saying to the daughter-in-law, hoping that she gets the message. Similarly, the Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotee. The Lord is not using any person from the street, just anybody. He's saying, no, let me teach to the world how to go through miseries, that everybody will have to go through miseries, but let me pick my devotees. No, 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 but Lord, why are you picking me? I'm your friend, I'm your devotee. I love you, I remember you. Please don't pick me. I don't want to be in calamities. But the Lord says, no, because you're my devotee, I'm going to set you as an example. And at the end, what happens? That devotee becomes glorified all around the universe for time immemorial. The devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord, because the Lord teaches the science, the sincere devotee, always from within. Whenever, therefore, a show is made to teach the devotee, as in the case of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it is for teaching the less intelligent men. A devotee's duty, therefore, is to ungrudgingly accept tribulations from the Lord as a benediction. The Pandavas were advised by Bhishma Dev to accept the responsibility of administration without hesitation, because so many people killed on the battlefield, and there were so many women and children who were left without a child, without a son, without a husband, without a father. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is instructed by Bhishma Dev that now you go and rule, and you become their protector. The poor subjects were without protection due to the battle of Kurukshetra, and they were awaiting the assumption of power by Maharaj Yudhishthira. A pure devotee of the Lord accepts tribulations as favors from the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no mundane difference between the two. Next slide. So from these, as in a summary of these 6 verses, what can we learn? First verse, we can learn that one must take shelter of the devotees, the Lord, and religious principles. And because of that, because Yudhishthira and the Pandavas took shelter of the devotees, the Brahmanas, the Lord, Krishna, and followed the instructions or religious principles given by Lord Krishna, even in the worst of the cases, they were protected and they came out victorious. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir. Krishna says that wherever I am present, not Krishna, this verse is at the end by Sanjaya, I believe, that they will be victorious. So we have to take shelter of the devotees, the Lord, and religious principles. This is very important. Now, again, during calamities, what happens is we tend to take shelter of doctors, therapists, lawyers, etc. Devotees are on the side. We try to take control of the matters, and religious principles are out of the door. Next, we also can learn how to tolerate without being disturbed. We have to tolerate, there is no other choice. If we do not tolerate titikshaha, if we do not have titikshaha or toleration, then throughout our days and throughout our weeks and years and in our life, there'll be so many situations that we won't be able to handle. We'll completely be disturbed. And a disturbed person causes disturbance to others also within the family or people around them. It's quite natural. Also, we can learn that, like Bhishma Dev is telling you, don't focus on the past. Don't worry about this was my past karma. Focus on what needs to be done going forward. We are going through problems in life. What is the use of going in the past and figuring out, is this my karma? We will never know whether it was our karma or not. We can spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on an astrologer who can look at our charts and tell, oh, this was the cause, but that's past. We can't change it. So to mitigate it, a little bit. They may give us some solutions that you must perform certain pujas or visit certain places or wear certain things. But that's just a very minor, small uh, defense to mitigate the reactions. We have to tolerate, because whatever's going through in our life is not something that the Lord has given us. It is not something that our neighbor has given us. It's not something that another living entity or anybody has given us. Whatever we are going through, good or bad, is our own doing. So we have to learn to tolerate. It's very difficult. It's not easy at all. But we have to learn to tolerate. Look at this picture, Bhishma Dev laying on a bed of arrows. He's tolerating. He's one of the Mahajans, but he was on the Kaurava side. He was there when Draupadi was disrobed. He was quiet. He had to go through this. But end of the day, he knew that the Pandavas will win. He knew Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He knew Krishna is by their side. There is no way they can win. Although Bhishma and Dronacharya, their teacher, was also on Kaurava's side, but here he is tolerating it. Do we think that being on a bed of arrows, we just lay down on one nail, it'll hurt us like anything? And here are hundreds of arrows on which he's laying down. The next is, don't focus on the past. We covered that. Know that it's Krishna's plan. Don't try to control what's not in your control. Sometimes it happens in our lives that we try to rectify things, so many things, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. At that time, we have to understand, is there anything still left that I can do? But we see that all doors are closed. There's actually, I've tried everything and anything possible. At that time, a devotee remembers, at least at that time, actually a devotee should know it much ahead, that things are not going the way I want. There must be a plan. I'm chanting daily, I'm remembering Krishna daily, I'm calling Krishna's name daily, I'm offering bhoga to Krishna, I'm eating prasadam daily, I'm reading about him, I am telling others about Krishna. Krishna does not know all this? He absolutely knows. We just don't have faith that he knows everything. We just don't have that faith. And because of that, we try to become the Lord and Master of our situation. If we remember this, that Krishna knows, and there is something is happening here, and Krishna must have a better plan. And when we understand this point, then we are much more relaxed and we let the game unfold itself. Okay, let me see what is happening tomorrow. Let me see which door opens up if one door closes in my life. Simply submit to Krishna's plan when things are out of your control. What does that mean? Just don't do anything? Just sit around and wait for Krishna's plan? No. Handle the situation strongly by being tolerant, by being patient for the results. For when it's cloudy, we're gonna have to wait, no matter how much we feel I want to see the sun. Somebody may say, I hate the rains, I hate the clouds, it's too gloomy, it's too dull. What can we do about it? You have to wait till the clouds move away and the sun is seen. We have to wait till the night is over for the day to appear. Those who cannot tolerate will take up to activities which will make things worse. Somebody may take to intoxication. Some may take up gambling and other activities that will just make the situation worse. It may delay or it may postpone their suffering, but the suffering will just increase because they will not be in a state of mind to handle the situation. So simply submit to Krishna's plans means that continue chanting. Still continue chanting and continue performing your devotional activities. That is what is submitting to Krishna's plans. Those who are weak will kind of deviate from that. Because we cannot see Krishna's hand, they'll start taking matters in their own hand. That should never happen. Continue your sadhana, your chanting, your reading. Then we will slowly realize, and Krishna will show us that, don't worry, I'm here. And even in calamities, when we continue our Krishna conscious activities, we will see the results. In Bhagavad Gita, see, generally we are such entities where we want to see benefit in everything that we do. If I work, what is my income? What am I going to get back? If it's a relationship, what am I going to get back? Everything we think from a businessman's perspective. What is there for me? So in Bhagavad Gita also, verse 2.40, Krishna says that in this process, there is no loss or diminution. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swa alpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So Krishna says that in this process of Krishna consciousness, the devotional process that you do, he says there is no loss or diminution. Meaning, whatever time you're investing, chanting, remembering, whatever activities, there is no loss. It will go back with you. It'll go back with you to the next lives. Kirit Patel, you can hold your questions for later on. We can take them. So we can, whatever is you're putting in, there is something for you. Krishna is assuring that. Don't feel that it'll be wasted. So why give up? In good times we can chant, in good times we are doing activities associating with sadhus and devotees, but in calamities we have to double that. Why? Because in easy times it's very easy to do it. But now where there is so much tension, stress, pressure, we need to do double to be able to handle that situation. So he says there is no loss or diminution. And not only that, he's saying, Krishna says that this will protect you from the most dangerous type of fear, which is death. Death is the biggest calamity, especially unforeseen death. Somebody, you just find out somebody got a cancer, somebody got a brain tumor, somebody had an accident and they just died. It's a calamity. Suddenly, someone you loved, this morning I just spoke to them, they were so happy. This person was so jolly. This person never hurt anybody. This person always helped others. And today that person is gone. I will never see this person again. A calamity. A big calamity. But then what that happens to us, suddenly I had this experience, just a year or two ago. I had to go to a dental because inside I had some, I don't know what it's called, something with the skin. And I had to go to a specialist. They say you have to go to a specialist. The specialist says you have to do a biopsy. So what? Did I hear right? So yeah, you have to do a biopsy. So why? We just want to make sure that it's not what we think it could be. It was a calamity. But it was not. Because I've been studying Bhagavad Gita. I've been practicing Krishna consciousness for years. It wasn't just a joke, reading every day, chanting every day, following the instructions, hearing Prabhupada's lectures, Guru's lectures, all the devotees, Bhagavad Gita, everything. That was the time to remember all this and say, okay, it's either today or it's tomorrow. Mentally you have to be prepared, whatever it comes out. The outcome was negative. But long story short, there was a calamity. Because suddenly it could come positive and I would be like, okay, what to do? It's the end of, I'm going to go. And then what? Cry? No. You have to train yourselves. You have to train yourselves. You have to train before the war. You have to practice before the battle, actual battle happens. Those who can practice Krishna consciousness as if this was their last day, when the last moment comes, they're able to handle themselves easily. So you have to constantly remember this, that this life is not forever. There is time. And why worry about thinking about death? Why worry about talking about death? Isn't that the truth? We were born, that's the truth. We're getting old, that's the truth. We're getting diseased, that's the truth. But death don't talk about. Why? Only one reason, fear. Because everybody fears death. But Krishna promises that if you've practiced, if you've done little bit of Krishna conscious activities, you've done some bhakti, you don't need to fear because I will be there for you. So there's some hope. And finally, take calamities as opportunities to come closer to Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days. That he will be bit by a snake and he will die was a calamity. He was the king of the entire world, and because of a silly mistake, he was cursed. Now, Parikshit Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord. He could have cursed back and neutralized his curse also, but he chose not to do that. When he came to senses that this was my mistake, he thought about it for a moment, and he took this as an opportunity. He says, wow, geez, I know in 7 days I'm going to die. I'm a king. I have all the wealth. I have hundreds and thousands of soldiers, servants. But this is the time I need to step away and get detached from and search for someone who can give me the higher truth. And he approached Sukadev Goswami and heard Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days and 7 nights non-stop. He took that as an opportunity. So in our lives also, I wouldn't say that we should ask for calamities because it's very difficult. We may not be at that stage. But whenever calamities come, take it as an opportunity. Maybe work calamity, maybe health calamity, whatever different types of. Take that as an opportunity to become stronger. How? By taking shelter of Krishna and completely surrendering unto him. He will give us the strength. There is no need to blame others all the time for our problems, even if it may be others. The Pandavas never said, you guys were like this and you guys did this and you guys did that. No, they were not interested in that. As they were getting calamities, they were just going through it, just sailing through it. And whenever they could not handle the situation, they would call Krishna and Krishna would appear and help them. Duryodhan tried. When Durvasa Muni came to meet Duryodhan knew that they are in exile. He knew where they were. He said, Durvasa, you know what? Why don't you go meet my cousins? They are in this place, this forest. You go and see them. Take all of your, 60,000 disciples, and Draupadi is a great cook. She can make some nice dal bati for you. Call. Durvasa said, hey, great idea. Let me go there. This was an envious, cunning Duryodhan. He wanted to make sure that Durvasa goes there. They cannot serve Durvasa, and Durvasa Muni curses them. We don't want to be in that situation. We don't want to be like that. And we see at that point, Duryodhan had everything one would want materially. But he had this nature of hurting others. If calamities come our way, take it. You take shelter of Krishna. If somebody was wrong, let Krishna handle it. Just be quiet. Just handle it peacefully. And I'm not saying this is not my made-up thing. I've seen this and I've heard this from great devotees. If you don't agree with this, That's fine. You don't have to agree with Bhagavad Gita. That's okay. We are not here to make anybody agree anything. One may have their own ways. One may want to go and fight. One may want to take up a sword and fight, like Arjuna did. But he did at the instruction and after guidance of Krishna. After Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna did not leave for the Himalayas to become a yogi. So if we consult with devotees, and if devotees say pick up the sword and fight, fight. But when devotees say that don't fight, don't fight. That pleases Krishna. But this tit for tat is not in the Vaishnava calendar. Tit for tat displeases Krishna. It is very difficult to tolerate that. It is very difficult to take revenge. But no, we are not in the mood of revenge. We should never be in that mood of revenge. Calamities came even in Vrindavan when Krishna was present there. How many demons Kansa sent? How many times did the Brajvasis go and tell Kansa, okay, now we'll fight with you. Let's, put an army and go and fight. No, Krishna is there. Let him handle. And Krishna handled every situation. To the point where even the greatest, the creator of the world, Brahma, attacked his friends. He took away his friends, Krishna's friends, and put them in a cave. And Krishna did what? Expanded himself multiple times. And then Brahmaji realized, Indra tried to destroy Vrindavan. What happened? Everybody took shelter of Krishna, let Krishna handle. If he thinks that was right, let us die. If Krishna thinks that was wrong, he will punish the other person. We don't have to take matters in our hands, devotees, all the time. And we will see in time that we will see that makes us stronger. It pleases Krishna and the devotees. And we come out happy end of the day. And today I'll tell you, there might be many of you on this call who've gone through many calamities in life. Some of you may have lost your business, a good business. Some of you may have good jobs. Some of you were in very good situations and calamities came and you lost everything. But then you got Krishna consciousness also. Today, on this day, if I ask you, would you have rather had that and not Krishna consciousness? Would you have been a better and a happy person? I'm pretty sure you all would say no. I'm glad. I see a plan. Krishna had a plan. And today where I am, I'm much happier. I myself went through that. When I was in school, college days, one of my family friends approached and said, listen, you want to get into business? We didn't have money. We had a one-bedroom apartment. We didn't have money. We just come from India. He said, I'll offer you business. You put in your time, I'll put the money. I just started Krishna consciousness. Just started, 2 years into it maybe. And I went to the store and they were selling meat, Delhi. And I said, no, I don't want to do this business. On one side, I was getting like, why you don't want to do this? Hey, listen, this is good money. Now we're going to make this fresh out of college. I said, it's okay. I don't want to do this. But over time, I saw that was Krishna's plan. That was Krishna's test. You just started, you heard everything. You heard the 4 aggregate principles, meat eating. I used to eat meat. I had given up meat eating just then. So it wasn't difficult for me to do that business. I just given up eating. And I said, no, I won't do this. And he provided. But we have to be tolerant and we have to be patient. Krishna doesn't work according to our plans. We have to work according to Krishna's plans. This we must remember all the time. So the next slide, I'll give you some few practical tips on covering from what we covered the last time. In the next slide, we will see 4 practical tips for dealing with calamities. Again, tied with my last part 1, which was around Sadhu Sangha, Jive Daya, Name Ruchi, and Vaishnava Seva. And there, the first point we had said, Sadhu Sangha means don't give up association of devotees in any cost. Take a vow today to make it a quality Sangha. What does that mean? If you are taking association of devotees, there's one thing to be there physically. Physically, you're there, his devotees are there, enjoying, having a good time. That's nice. But that's not the association that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about. Let's click on next. That's not the association that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about. What we are talking about is quality association. That when you visit temple, for example, our programs are back to back, tight. There's no intervals in between. Make sure when we are there that we have full focused attention on lectures, 1 hour lecture. We go in as a student. You go in as a student. Don't go to socialize. It's not a time to socialize. It's time to become a spiritual student. Take a vow today that when I go to temples on Sundays or Fridays to Bhakti Vriksha, I'll go there to learn. When I'm in kirtans, I will dance. Why? The Lord himself dances. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to make all of us dance. I will dance. I will raise my arms high up in the air and I will say, I surrender to you, my Lord, and sing with the devotees. Then we will feel the vibes. Make it a quality Sangha. In our own lives, we made this an unspoken rule that when the Aarti of the Lord is happening, when the Pujari is performing Aarti of the Lord is present, he's accepting that Aarti, he's there. At that time, we don't want to be doing anything else than be in the Aarti, sing and dance, unless it is absolutely required. If it can wait, it should wait. That is the time, give your full attention. The Lord is there for us, actually. We are not going to say, okay, listen, not to give our attendance. The Lord is present there. We want to be there joyfully, feeling that bliss in singing His glories. That is quality association. So the singing, the dancing, you don't want to just go there and Aarti is happening and we are sitting outside having a chat with somebody. Because it's not so important. It's important to be there with the devotees and again, sing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together. Phone is ringing. Somebody calls. Ask yourself, is this an important call? If I don't pick up this call, what will be the consequences? If it's not a calamity, if it's not going to be major, hold off that call for 20 minutes. Give your full focus and attention to the Aarti, the singing. That's quality. When the lectures are happening, you're falling asleep, wake up, go and stand if we have to, so that we don't miss out anything. When prasadam is happening, honor prasadam in a way that this is Krishna prasad. I want to do it in a quality way. That's quality Sangha. Purify your hearing, seeing, tongue in the Sangha. Meaning, when we are in association of devotees, be conscious of what I'm hearing. The last thing we want is go at a place where this is for our spiritual growth, and we are in the midst of devotees who are talking everything but devotional, especially criticisms. That is a bad quality association. And that bad quality association, in the same association of devotees, in Sadhu Sangha, you can either go down from there or you can go up. Choice is yours. You hear attentively, class. You hear good things. When you hear anything negative, you walk away from there. This will uplift you. Purify your seeing. Where are your eyes engaged? Is my eyes during the kirtans, is my eyes looking at the altar, or it's looking on the other side? How are they dancing? Or is my eyes looking at some other things that are going around? Quality seeing. No, I want to look at devotees who are dancing in ecstasy. I want to look at the beautiful deity form. The tongue, purify your tongue. When you're at the temple, when you're in the association of devotees, even otherwise, but start the practice here. Use your tongue very limited. We don't need to make it very loud. We don't have to speak necessarily. We have to speak that I have to speak. No. But when we speak, say words that are healing to others, that are appealing to others. Say words that will inspire others. Say sweet words that will make somebody feel better, that, all day of problems and this person speaking so sweetly to me, rather than this person did this person did that, I'm doing this. What's the use? Better stay home. Don't do a devotee association. The second one, Jive Daya, kindness to all living beings. Be kind, but not just by words. These days in Kali Yuga, people are very kind word-wise. People are very kind to hold the door for you. But that's about it. But when it comes to action, that's the real thing. People gave their life to Srila Prabhupada not because of the verses that he spoke, not because how he spoke, because his English was hard to understand to begin with, an old man from India. But people gave their life to Srila Prabhupada because of his action. His action and his words were matching right there. So it is very important to be kind by action as well. Words can break or make a relationship, so can action. Don't harm anyone with words or actions. Okay, I don't do anything that will hurt anybody, but you speak something that hurts others. Why? Why is it required? If we are wearing Vaishnava tilak, think about it 10 times. After some things, many times things come out of my mouth. And I wonder, how did this come out? I was not even thinking about it. And I feel guilty. I think, meditate upon it. And I say, Krishna, why? There must be a reason. Why did this happen? I should be careful next time when I speak such words to devotees or others. One who can bite their own tongue, even knowing that it was not their mistake, is a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is not somebody that, okay, you did this. Well, no, I didn't do this. I will also show you. I will also tell you. No, devotees know how to tolerate. Devotees means that they'll be quiet. Somebody's coming and yelling at you. Okay, Hare Krishna, I'm sorry that I gave you so much anxiety and stress. Please tell me how I can improve. Taste for the holy name. Name Ruchi. Pick up those beads, please. That's Name Ruchi. It begins with that. We want to be able to manage calamities in our life. Pick up those beads, chanting beads, and start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Don't keep looking and thinking about it, that I will start this tomorrow. There may not be a tomorrow. Start now. And those who have been chanting, our Acharya has told us, chant 16 rounds. There was a reason why he said 16 rounds. Just like when you go to gym, it is said that you must work out for certain time. If you're doing cardio, do 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're doing weights, do 12 reps, 15 reps. There's a reason. It's not like do whatever you want, No results. Or sometimes puffed up body because you're doing 50 reps in one shot, or you're doing like 3 reps, no results. There's a reason. Acharya says 16 means 16. Get to it in this life. Now, start. Chant and hear with attention. Taste for the holy names. I don't feel like, I don't chant, I don't like it. See, the last thing you want to do is when calamities strike is drop those beads. Because what? Those beads are your only hope, actually. And if we chant with attention, close the door, find your space, put a sign outside, do not disturb. Sit there and focus on the holy names. I guarantee you, your mind will settle down, will calm down, will become dhira. And then you see how you'll be able to handle your situation. Service to Vaishnavas. Do some practical service. Not just service of the mouth. Not just we should do this and we should do that. Okay, do it. No, I didn't mean I should do it. I meant you should do this and you should do that. Many people come up with suggestions. ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा करना चाहिए. Okay, why don't you do it? Why don't you try to do it? No, it's meant for you. Do some service. When you go to temple, when you're in devotee association, pick up something that's fallen on the floor. Pick up a broom and sweep. Clean up at least your area where you ate. Clean that up after you left. Gradually develop that mentality of seva bhav. I know so many children in our community have that seva bhav. Why? They saw this from their parents. They learned this from their parents. So develop that and exchange gifts. Invite for prasadam, not just Sundays, not just Fridays, not just Wednesdays here. Nectar of instruction, dadati pratigranati, guhyam akhyati, prachyati, bhunte bhoja yute chaiva, sad vidham priti lakshanam, offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So have these exchanges with devotees. When it's festival times, when it's some occasions, special occasions, call them, you visit them, give them something. A Brahmana is there, give them something. I know devotees who on special occasions, they will come and they'll give. There was Ekadashi was there now, which was Shattila Ekadashi. On Shattila Ekadashi, it is said that one should give sesame seeds to a Brahmana. I know devotees who do that. By that, what happens? Loving exchanges happens. You get blessings from devotees. When you get blessings from devotees, it helps us in our devotional service. If it helps us in our devotional service, then we are able to handle situations better in our life as well. So these are some practical tips. And at the end, the 2 things that I'll tell you, which has helped me a lot, is exercise. A lot of our problems in today's day and age are happening because of unhealthy lifestyles, unhealthy food, unhealthy sleeping habits, unhealthy thoughts. Exercise. Make it a resolution to work out. If you don't work out, if you don't maintain this body, this is like an airplane. We need this airplane to go there. You need an airplane to fly from here to another place. This body, through this body, we are practicing Krishna consciousness. And this body, through this, we will be able to develop love for Krishna and then go back to the spiritual world in the spiritual body. But for that, right now, make it a habit to do some regular exercises. And also, whenever you get an opportunity, try to be in nature. Let the sunlight fall on us. We walk barefoot on the grass. Hear the sounds of the birds chirping, the winds blowing. We are too far from nature these days, sitting in concrete walls. These 2 are some very practical, but along with doing that also, exercise means you're putting your headphones and you're listening to some katha. You can do that. It's not that you have to take an hour away and say, okay, now I don't have time to chant. No, that 1 hour, you can listen to so many things. You can hear kirtans, you can hear lectures, and that's your sadhana also. When you're in nature also, you can see Krishna in that. You see the sun, oh, Surya Samaha. Krishna is like the sun, he's the eyes. When you drink water, Krishna is the taste of water. Like this, you can remember Krishna. But we feel healthy and smile at others. Smile, be happy. And that will all help us slowly, few things. These are all jigsaw puzzles. Put them together, and we'll see a picture of you, a happy person. Happy means what? Not just, artificially happy, but happy from within, not just external, from within. Satisfied, knowing that this life is temporary. I'm here, I'm a visitor. I'm a visitor in this place. I'll be gone anytime. So while I'm with my family members, let me try to do my duty. Let me try to be the best that I can be. This job is not permanent. Please don't die from job. That will be the worst thing. Don't let become your job become so stressful that it gives you heart problems, this problem, that problem. It's not worth it. Your father, our father is Krishna. He will provide us. He can provide so much food to the elephants. He takes care of the ants. In between us, he will definitely take care of. Okay, with that, I will like to end today's talk. I hope this will prepare you from future facing calamities. The whole purpose of this talk was to help you prepare for calamities. And the takeaways is this: be tolerant, be patient, depend on the Lord's plan, let it unfold. Don't be in a revengeful mindset. Depend completely on Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful, wonderful class.
But one thing, I'm sorry. Before we leave, actually, it's not ended. I wanted to play one video. And this video, I loved this video when I saw it. And I've been seeing it multiple times. And this kind of summarizes the whole thing that I was telling. And that, we have everything. In America, we have so much. And in that rush to get things and work and earn money and travel and vacation, we forget Krishna. Till calamity hits us. And if we are fortunate, we will take shelter of Krishna, otherwise we'll forget. So watch this video very carefully. From your, hear it and watch it too. So if you are doing anything, please come running to your laptop or your phone. Gaurav Prabhu, please go ahead.
Na 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 na. सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो अब हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। हर घूमे रो रो कर कृष्ण से ये वादा किया, हरि नाम जपूंगा, इसी जन्म में वापस चलूंगा। लेकिन बचपन तो गया, खेलों में खो गया, केजी में फर्स्ट आकर मैंने आखिर क्या पा लिया। जवानी भी गई, रूप रस में बह गई, आकर्षणों के पीछे जितना ही जल गई। कमाते ही रहे हर नाम शान के लिए, दिखावे की दौड़ में हरि को ही भूल गए। अब बुढ़ापा आ गया, हाथ खाली मन भरी, नाम बिना बीती उम्र, अब बस मरने की तैयारी। अब मन भर जाएगा, हर घूंट के साथ सारा दुख मिट जाएगा। पर नशा उतरा तो खालीपन मिला, जिसे सुख समझा था वही जहर बन चला। परिवार में सुख है ये ब्राह्मण ने पाला, अपनों के नाम पर जीवन भर खुद को ढाला। अब उम्र ढली तो चेहरे बदल गए, जो साथ मेरे खड़े थे वो मुझसे पहले चले गए। धन गाड़ी बंगला सब अपना समझ लिया, मैं हूँ गली का राजा, ऐसा भ्रम पाल लिया। आज ना स्वाद रहा ना ताकत ही रही, घर भी डर बन गया, कहीं नौकर ही ना मार गई। सारी उम्र हम मर मर के कृष्ण कृपा से श्रील प्रभुपादा मिल गए, डूबते जीवन को जैसे किनारे मिल गए। अब रोज हरि नाम जपूंगा, वैष्णव सेवा करूंगा, चारों नियम पालन करके गुलों का दामा के साथ चलूंगा। सारी उम्र मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो अब हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Just pause here. So anyone who surrenders to Krishna, we can just read that. You all liked it? You can unmute and say it. Is not able to unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this is so good.
Yeah. Gaurav Prabhu, can you bring up that video? I wanted to read the text.
Amazing.
Bravo.
I was hoping somebody would say once more.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
So anyone who surrenders to Krishna, his destiny is changed by the omnipotency of God. He takes charge of the devotee and guides him how the devotee can go back to home, back to God. This is the mercy of God. This is Srila Prabhupada saying in 1975 letter to Revati Nandan. So beautiful, huh? All right. So I will share the link to everybody. Also, anybody has any, Gaurav Prabhu, back to you. You can make your announcements, and then if anyone has any questions.
Sure. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very, very nice video, of course. It was very good class, right? So a lot of many points you gave. So quick announcements, right? So we have ISKCON of Bergen site, right? So you can go there and let me see, where did it go? Right. So ISKCON of Bergen site here, we have iskonofbergen.org. So we have all of our programs listed here. So this Wednesday we are hearing from Ramachandra Das Prabhu here, right? So then we have this Sunday class coming up from His Grace Laktak Das on Vandanam. We have Bhakti Vriksh programs every Friday and different areas. So if you want to join, please contact one of us. We have daily Monday to Friday Bhagavad Gita reading from 12 p.m. to 12:15 p.m. So you can join the same Zoom session. There is a daily japa session happening from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day. So you can just join to the chanting there or listening to the chanting. And we have our ISKCON calendar here where you can see all the events happening, all the Ekadashi dates and everything there. We have all our older videos, programs, as well as all the lectures here. So you can go ahead and listen to those if you have missed any of them. And you can subscribe to our program. If you're not part of our WhatsApp group, you can also join the group and we can send you all the important messages there regarding the programs. So with that, I will stop here and ask devotees if anyone has any question, please unmute and we can go from there one by one. Many devotee.
Yeah, put everybody into calamity.
No, I know we have one in the chat from Kirit Patel Prabhu. So before if anyone else want. Right. So the in the chat we still need to take decision for action in our recent moment. When do you come to conclusion that it is Krishna's plan?
Good question. Is Kirit Prabhu still there? Yes, he is. So when do we understand that it is Krishna's plan? We come to the conclusion when it is Krishna's plan, when we become Krishna's, when we depend on Krishna. Okay. Any other question?
Any questions from anyone? If not, then we end here.
How about watching the video once more? Anybody?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
happy.
Yeah. Any thumbs up? Just 2 people. Okay, those who don't want to watch can leave. It's late also, so no worries. But I would like to watch with all of you again. Go for it, Gaurav Prabhu.
Na 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 na. सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो अब हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। हर में रो रो कर कृष्ण से ये वादा किया, हरि नाम जपूंगा, इस जन्म में वापस चलूंगा। लेकिन बचपन तो गया, खेलों में खो गया, केजी में फंसता कर मैंने आखिर क्या पा लिया। जवानी भी गई, रूप रस में बह गई, आकर्षणों के पीछे चेतना ही जल गई। कमाते ही रहे हर नाम शान के लिए, दिखावे की दौड़ में हरि को ही भूल गए। अब बुढ़ापा आ गया, हाथ खाली मन भरी, नाम बिना बीती उम्र, अब बस मरने की तैयारी। सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। नशे में ये सोचा अब मन भर जाएगा, हर घूंट के साथ सारा दुख मिट जाएगा। पर नशा उतरा तो खालीपन मिला, जिसे सुख समझा था वही जहर बन चला। परिवार में सुख है ये ब्राह्मण ने पाला, अपनों के नाम पर जीवन भर खुद को ढाला। अब उम्र ढली तो चेहरे बदल गए, जो साथ मेरे खड़े थे वो मुझसे पहले चले गए। धन गाड़ी बंगला सब अपना समझ लिया, मैं हूँ गली का राजा, ऐसा भ्रम पाल लिया। आज ना स्वाद रहा ना ताकत ही रही, घर भी डर बन गया, कहीं नौकर ही ना मार गई। सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो अब हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, एक पल तो अब हमें हरि नाम जपने दो। अब कृष्ण कृपा से श्रील प्रभुपादा मिल गए, डूबते जीवन को जैसे किनारे मिल गए। अब रोज हरि नाम जपूंगा, वैष्णव सेवा करूंगा, चारों नियम पालन करके गुलों का दाम आपके साथ चलूंगा।
Griva.
Vivo.
I was very much touched by that part when he says, "Ab main jab karunga, ab main Vaishnav seva karunga." After all these years, right? He's saying, "Now I will start this." That was very heart touching. Because it's never late. In one of those videos, you'll see one of the texts says, Prabhupada promises in one of the letters, he's promising his devotee. He's saying, first of all, thank you very much for accepting me as your spiritual master. And he's saying that I promise you that I will take you home back to Godhead. You see? So it's never late. The point is, it's never late. Start now. Start something, because if our time is very short left, at least that starting will stay with us for lives together. Okay? Hare Krishna. Gaurav Prabhu, you want to announce about the Sunday? Or you already did?
So this Sunday about the program, Prabhu,
Yeah, about the weather. Remember we were talking?
So yeah, Prabhu, so there would be announcement coming up soon. Like if the weather is bad, we will get the message out to the group like on Saturday. So depending on, so it might be Zoom call this Sunday instead of in person.
But wait, if you don't hear anything, means the program is on in the center. If it's cancelled, then you'll get a notification.
Ramachandra Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I had a very quick question, if you don't mind. I can squeeze in.
Yes, please. I'm here.
So Prabhuji, a wonderful lecture, and I think the percentage of people being Krishna consciousness in this today's world, maybe 0.001%. So somewhere, I don't know, I feel, as our Sanatan Dharma or, the Hinduism, which we have already been preaching from childhood, a lot of secularism is involved in, accepting everything, being the same. But somewhere I feel, how do one be more bashful and more proud about our teaching of Krishna consciousness, and how much we should be more upfront about spreading it? If there is some kind of an input, maybe in the future, it's a very short time, it could be a very deep question, because I'm seeing somewhere that we tend to be very shy. In many other religions, they are very, very proudly, I've seen even in text message when people write JSK to me, and I always insist that don't do JSK. The least you can do is write Jai Shri Krishna, So thank you again. A lovely lecture. It helps us to be better Vaishnava. And maybe in future, if you can, throw in a light, because we enjoy your preaching, Prabhu.
Yeah. First of all, so very nice question, Ramachandra Prabhu, and that shows that your concern for Sanatan Dharma to spread. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita 7.3 which says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha, which means out of many thousands among men, many thousands among, Krishna is saying, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows being truth. So the Sanatan Dharma speaks directly about who God is. There's very few people, just like Prabhupada gives an example, there are many, many stars, but one moon is what it matters, that gives light to the other stars. So similarly, consider Sanatan Dharma. Today we are in a phase in this Kali Yuga, where after Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and 5,000 years after Kali Yuga, we see that Sanatan Dharma is at number 3 or something like that. Okay, so it's a very small time phase in which we are, where we see that, hey, listen, why not us? But this will also again change. And the message that Sanatan Dharma is giving is so pure, is eternal, and it will automatically, Krishna will automatically send such devotees like Prabhupada. Where in the West did anybody know about Sanatan Dharma? But Prabhupada came, he took it. Now going forward also, Krishna will send his devotees who will come and spread and make the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu true, which is in every town and village, the names of Krishna will be sung. So what we have to do, now coming back to that point, yes, we have to become bold. Now that boldness will only come by having faith in Krishna, having full firm understanding that, like, listen, my time is temporary. What am I worrying about? I was just remembering today as um, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a few years ago, when I was in India for my spiritual master's Vyasa Puja, all the devotees around me had Shika. And I was feeling embarrassed. I said, I've taken Brahman initiation. During Brahman initiation, I kept a Shika. After that, I let go. And I said, thought of myself that entire world, especially in America, people are wearing different kinds of hairstyles. They're wearing weird type of tattoos on their face, body, everywhere. Different rings in different places. Why am I shy of putting on a Shika? So I said, I took a vow. I said, it doesn't matter. I have to go to office, I'll go in Shika. Wherever I have to go, I'll do Shika. And from that day, I just rised above all this, what will this person think, what will they think? Until date, I think that I always remind that I'm here for only a short time. And if anybody has a problem with my hairstyle, which I don't have, is a small Shika, so be it. But we, yes, have to be a little bold. And that comes only from really more practice and becoming more like, why am I shy about carrying my bead bag? Sometimes people say, well, dukhana kyun hai logo ko? Okay, that's fine. If you can chant better without a bead bag and with a clicker, that's also fine. But slowly, as that devotion just keeps growing, as Krishna keeps filling in our heart, you become one with, you're always with Krishna. You just don't, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. So we have to keep pushing, and that starts with each one of us here. So when we are traveling in the plane, carry your bead bag, put on your tilak. And Prabhupada stressed us two things, Kanthimala and Vaishnava tilak. This is to begin with, your uniform. You don't need to wear dhoti, sari and all that all the time, but at least these two, because this will protect us in the worst of the dangers.
Which a non-initiated devotee also can do, correct?
Anyone can do.
Okay, wonderful, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Any other question? Not?
Hare Krishna.
And let's thank Prabhuji with loud Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please. All devotees, please unmute.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Ki jai.
Yeah.